All right. Hello, Johnny. Please tell the whole world, what's the story? What's the vibe of your film, Cold Storage?
It's unashamed entertainment and hopefully escapist, fun popcorn movie. That's what it is. It's not trying to be highbrow, although interestingly, David has woven in some, quite dangerous thoughts and ideas about what could happen, but it's dealt with a light touch and it's not heavy. It should be a fun movie, basically a crowd pleasing movie where odd things happen. Hopefully, it's unpredictable, and that we root for the two leads, Georgina Campbell and Joe Keery, who play these co-workers in the storage facility, who are basically like the normal person in an audience. That's what we wanted.
Okay, all right. Well, lots to unpackage there. Let's start off with the script. So, as you said, someone else wrote the script, David Cope. I don't know.
David Cat.
Okay,
David Cat. He's a Hollywood legend himself. Has been at the top of his game for decades, literally since writing Jurassic Park, Carlito's Way, Spider-Man, Mission Impossible, you name it. So he knows how to write a screenplay and how to grab your attention, like he does with this one. So, but this was a lower budget movie, so it's he one relies a lot on his kind of really sort of witty, naturalistic dialogue, which is always amusing and hopefully keeps the momentum going through it.
okay. And when his name was attached to it, were you sold already?
Oh yeah, no. Well, as soon as I read the first line, I was sold. It said, "Pay attention, this shit is real," and I'm like, "Hey, this is my kind of script." No, he wrote a novel, Cold Storage, back in 2019. So he was thinking about these things long before COVID struck.
Oh.
And so his novel was published, I think, in 2019 and available in all good booksellers now. And he then he wrote the screenplay, but he always said, I wanted to write a novel because I've been writing so many screenplays. I wanted to do something which was like almost the antithesis of a screenplay. So he wanted to put himself into an unusual place with the narrative where there's a lot about internal thoughts and about chemical transformations of substances and fungus and so on. And then he obviously was tasked inevitably with adapting his own screenplay. So yeah, there you go.
I love it. I love it. I like this sort of secret government goo angle. It,
Yeah.
yeah. So what,
Well,
what
there's
was? Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I mean, government goo. Who knows what they have down in their basements? But again, even that it seems far-fetched. But there was a government facility decommissioned in the Aitchison mines in Kansas that was then bought and auctioned off and bought by a commercial enterprise to become cold storage facility. So is even that which you think, come on, they wouldn't do that. As to whether there were contagious fungus samples stored in their basement. That's where David's imagination takes over. But these things happen.
Right. Oh yeah, and especially with this Epstein craze era, anything seems plausible at this point.
Yeah, no, we're in a crazy world, and so I think that storytellers have to go even further to be considered far-fetched and escapist because the world we're living in is so mad. So actually, this I hope serves as a capsule of enjoyment and just popcorn fun that people can enjoy. So I'm hoping that's the vibe.
Oh heck yes! And what were like we said talking about the government goo angle? What were some movies you were perhaps subconsciously channeling in terms of that vibe?
Well, I suppose it's a bit of a hybrid, really. I mean, at one point I said it's a bit like the Goonies for grown-ups. It's an adventure. It's heightened. It's fun. It's people who are out of their depth. There's a strain of humor running through it, and the story itself sort of mutates. So, I mean, one had to refer back to things like the Andromeda Strain, The Thing, Alien, but also to things like Stand By Me with amazing, funny projectile vomiting and so on. So, it's sort of, hopefully it's a sort of, it is a hybrid, it's a genre mashup, really, and it has a bit of a retro vibe, a sort of 80s, 90s retro vibe, I hope.
Oh, what about that movie, Solient Green? You got to mention that one.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to do some more homework. I'm not familiar with that one. What's
Okay,
it called?
Solient Green. So, it's with Charlton Heston. I don't even
Okay.
think I remember how to spell Solient.
Okay, Solian Scream. Okay,
Green,
well,
green,
Greens.
Solient Green.
Okay, is it about goo? Is that
There's
one
some
about?
goo.
Okay.
There's a goo
Who
angle.
doesn't? Who doesn't like a bit of green goo? Yeah.
Heck
I think
yes.
had the goo been orange, people might have accused us of being political with the statement we're making about how this horrible orange goo
Right.
is affecting everybody. It just to be green.
Green is integral for a movie like this, I think so.
Yeah.
So what's Liam Neeson like?
He's an utter professional. It was sort of encapsulated. There was one moment where I came up to give him a note, and he said, in a very polite way, "Johnny, I've done 102 movies." And so it wasn't that he wasn't taking the note, but it was just it was a reminder that in that moment you kind of, the guy just sort of sweats it. He knows what he's doing. He is a joy to work with. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, I've heard that about like Jack Nicholson on his last
Oh,
movie would like
really?
laugh at his like director. He wouldn't say anything, and I talked to a director once, and he wrote like 35 drafts of the movie, but like Kristen Stewart just basically like dictated what was happening. But that guy was saying they just know so much about filmmaking that it's kind of okay.
Yeah, I mean, and what surprised, I'm used to doing quite a lot of rehearsal. I've mainly worked in television, and have always been story driven. I've not really distinguished between whether something was a film or a TV show. If the story is good, that's what I wanted to do. And the same with the budget level. Some of the best things I got to do had very low budgets, and won BAFTAs. So it's not about that. I think with Liam, what was interesting is that he just shows up. There's no rehearsal. You might run a scene a little bit, but it's just like he locks in, and he knows exactly what to do, and you just got to stand back and make sure that the camera's in the right place to capture it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
yeah,
He's phenomenal. Obviously, I have no
yeah,
hyperbolic praise. It's all been said. Do you have a
yeah.
favorite role
And,
by him?
uh, well, Schindler's List is hard to beat because it was such a powerful movie. But I mean, I really liked him in The Naked Gun, the recently.
Yeah.
He's reinvented himself, and I thought that was Leslie Nielsen was a hard act to sort of follow and step into those shoes, but he made it his own, and he's got a terrific sense of humor. So yeah, that we benefited from that, sure, in this movie. And
Oh
Vanessa
yeah.
Redgrave was in this movie as well, and she similarly is such a legend, two legends in one movie, and three with Leslie Manville.
Right.
Um, and and she showed up on set in Rome and just said, right, let's go for it. It's always like, okay, should we get the lights up first? She
Well,
was
that's it.
just raring to go.
Right. It's great that, that this can exist right on the shelf on someone's Blu-ray collection or a 4K collection, yet they can get cold storage right beside it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, hopefully people will go and see it in the cinema because I think what I discovered when I was at a screening a couple of nights ago in London, and it's a really infectious movie when you're in a crowd. People enjoy having a giggle and the pop scares alongside each other. So while I think, yeah, it will have a life as a Blu-ray, I think catch it while you can in the theater because it adds a real frisson to it.
Heck yes, nothing beats the theatrical experience. It's the most immersive, best way to watch a film. Turn your phone off and kick back and enjoy cold storage.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, totally. And there's nothing better than the shared experience of the movie that pushes those buttons, makes you laugh, makes you jump, makes you kind of not gag necessarily, but just to kind of gross out moments. It's a good thing to, yeah. And you need oodles of popcorn to watch this kind of movie as well.
This is definitely a popcorn movie for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we talked about Liam Neeson. Please tell my audience why they'll also love Georgina Campbell and Joe Keery in your film.
Those guys, they hit it off so well. Their chemistry was terrific. It sort of reminded me of His Girl Friday, and then Liam recently that Joe Keery was the next Cary Grant. They both fed off each other fantastically. You can see it in all of the interviews they're doing now. They just got it, and they're the heart of the movie. It's like a cross between the worst night shift ever and the weirdest first date ever. So it's kind of like quite interesting timing that it's coming out around Valentine's because they have a restrained admiration for each other that grows through the movie, and it doesn't start off in the best way, but they learn to accept each other, and that's part of the story. And this is all happening amidst the chaos and the extraordinary nonsense that's going on around them.
Oh, yes, they've got great chemistry. Who are your top three directors of all time?
Oh gosh. Well, I would say um, you've thrown me there. Obviously, Steven Spielberg has to be up there
Mm.
because he's covered such a breadth of work and so consistently for such a long time. I think I would also say Mike Hodges, who directed Get Carter, who I think is probably an underrated director. He's sadly no longer with us, but and Ken Loach. I think that they're the kind of directors I like to watch. Very contrasting with Steven Spielberg, I'd say. More understated, more
You like
gritty.
your fellow countrymen directors,
I just they're films that influenced me. I
of
could
course.
say James Ivory. I was also the British films of Merchant Ivory influenced me when I was growing up.
I got to talk to Mike Lee once, and that was really a highlight for
Oh,
me.
cool!
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's isn't it great to work in an industry where there are so many fantastic storytellers around that you can watch their stories or read their scripts. We're fortunate and yeah, it's great to celebrate all those different amazing filmmakers.
Well, we could talk about cinema for a very long time, I'm sure, but we got to wrap things up. And Johnny, thank you so much for chatting with me
Hey, it's
today
a
about
pleasure,
your film
Michael.
Cold Storage. Is there a final thing you'd like to say about the film before I let you go?
Um, I think that guys, you should go out and see it and enjoy it with your friends or with your dates.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, Michael. Lovely.